Hello, once again, raiders, traders, scavvers, and everything in between. I'm Follower Toshi, and it's been a very long time since I used my official, goodly, and proper intro in a video. If you've been a long-time viewer of my content, you'll know that I've been using that as my intro in many videos since I first started uploading content back in 2020. Mostly in my Let's Play series like Fallout New California, Sim Settlements 2, as well as loads of other playthroughs that have since been archived for the most part, but can still be found in their designated playlists here on the channel. 2025 has been... well, let's just say that things have been kind of crazy on my end. I know it's been a while since I did a good and proper update video like this, and I wanted to talk about things because I feel like I perhaps didn't communicate properly with you guys and then just sort of stopped uploading. So let's jump back to 2022 real quick. 2022 was a real strange mixed bag as far as content is concerned. I feel as if this is where I really started to find my stride as a creator, but not so much in any sort of conventional thematic way that YouTube likes. The bulk of my content prior to this year was more so series driven, playing through Fallout projects like Fortville, Sim Settlements 2, and of course New California. In 2022, I experimented with how I upload series by first live streaming, editing, and then uploading specific segments from live streams to YouTube. I did do some more experimental videos like quizzes and Fallout versions of trending content like the Smash or Pass video, but the bulk of my success that year came from videos I put higher production value into, such as the videos talking about the Quantum X01 power armor and more creatively driven projects like the horror mod reviews I put out where I made spooky little stories in theme with the mods that they were attached to. The tail end of 2022, we went in more of a news sort of direction, taking a lot of inspiration from other creators like Juicehead. These videos were easy to make, and just like this update video, not much footage is actually needed, and I could get them out pretty quickly. That's why when you look back at my catalog, the bulk of my content comes from 2023, when I was primarily making these kinds of videos. I think though the main reason for this was that at the time I was in between jobs, so I had a lot of spare time on my hands to actually dedicate to creating content. If you've been keeping up with my most recent stuff, you've probably noticed a similar pattern, specifically when it comes to shorts, which are more or less the new version of this news-based sort of content. That means, obviously, that I've once again found myself out of work. It's a bit different than it was back in 2023, and while I don't want to go into too much detail, all I can really say is that it's probably worse, but there's a bit more security behind it. It's weird, but okay at the same time. Somehow. Anyway, as far as my content specifically goes, while I was able to put out a lot of it in 2023, I didn't really enjoy much of it. Sure, there were several videos that did amazingly well by my channel standards, but like I said, these videos were just far too easy to produce and didn't really fulfill the same sort of creative itch in the same way that my reviews or horror story mods did. Even my favorite videos of that year, like my Velma review or my Fallout Prime video, were more so just my attempts to inject a little bit more creativity into what I still to this day view as a very lazy way of creating content, at least by my own standards. Don't get me wrong, these videos were still fun to make, they just lacked the same level of creativity that I personally look for when I'm making content. As the book closed on 2023 and we moved into 2024, full-time work became more of a priority, and while I was still uploading episodes of the Atomcast, my normal uploads became a lot more sparse, and things got moved around a lot because of what a big deal Fallout Prime was. To put things into context, the video that I made covering Content Warning, which the game dropped on April 1st, I had completed before the end of the month. But I didn't actually release it until September because I first wanted to put out a review video of Fallout Prime. Despite the fact that the show also released in April, between work and other projects, I wasn't able to release my review until August. So, yeah, that sucked. Was it worth delaying the video? Would my time have been better spent not doing a full breakdown of the Amazon series instead of focusing on other things? I don't know. That's just how things went. Looking back on the video, I don't feel as if that either fulfilled my own artistic standards, but I don't think that that was the point. I think it was more so like a theorizing and community engagement video. I just wish I could have gotten it out sooner when everybody was still talking about the show. My recap of 2024 from the perspective of a Fallout fan was also perhaps more of the same. But because that video wasn't a recap of something specific, I was able to be a bit more flexible and creative with the project, and I think the response to both that video and my content warning video really reflect that. I've talked about this on live streams in the Discord channel and a lot of other places, but I fundamentally believe that in order to be a good content creator, you have to actually enjoy the process of creating. A lot of people get burned out, and that's probably the thing that happened to me most often over the last year or so. But I'm just far too stubborn to know when to give up or when to let a project just die. Which is really funny because the video that I've been spending probably the better part of the last year on, I can finally put out. This video specifically is a total story review of Fallout: The Frontier, going over each of the main factions' quest lines and breaking them down and giving my own opinion on the quality of the story that each one presented. I originally wanted to get this video back out in January, but because of editing issues, file transfer issues, having to rebuild my entire system, both hardware and software, all the stuff that's been going on with my work status, and a depressive breakdown or two, it's taken a lot longer than I wanted. It's going to be the longest video that I've ever put out to date, though not by much, and even then, it's still a scaled back version of what I originally wanted it to be. Unlike with my Fallout Prime review, I've learned when I need to cut back and just get content out. Sadly, YouTube favors upload consistency over video quality, and that's a bummer. There is still other content that I would want to review in these longer, more detailed manners because I feel like they're good for sparking conversation. But with how massive and detailed content like Fallout London actually is, it's just not practical for a creator of my size. This is actually partially why I wanted to do a review of The Frontier, because a video covering that same topic was my first big break. And if I'm going to shift away from my review style content, it might as well come full circle and end the same way. With that said, what's next for follower Toshi and his community? Well, first and foremost, in addition to The Frontier being my last big review video, or at least the last planned one that I have, it'll also be my last video covering Fallout New Vegas content, save for major content like the remake of The Frontier that's eventually going to come out. Maybe, fingers crossed, as well as any other similar sized mod projects. Over the last 2 years, I've seen the slow, gradual erosion of the Fallout New Vegas segment of the community. The New Vegas crowd has always been a bit more rough around the edges, but things have gotten really bad lately. From my perspective, it all sort of started with this mod project called Fallout Ashfall, which, as far as I know, started as creative differences within the team, but ended in wild accusations of impropriety and just a lot of like, whoa, this shit got crazy. I personally even got caught up in a little bit, both directly and indirectly, because at the time, another content creator that was sort of the center of a lot of this controversy called me out personally in one of their videos after I had DM'd them asking if we could chat so I could get their side of the story. I don't know why he decided to call me out over that, but that's just what ended up happening. But then this also spun off into me getting really weird messages on Discord, in my comment section, and even during live streams that basically boiled down to stop talking to this person and only talk to this person so we can bully the other person off of the community or you'll be in trouble. Real weird targeted harassment shit. And this was back in like March 2024, probably mostly going into the summer. Just a few weeks ago, when Fallout Nuevo Mexico shut down and people started spreading rumors about the lead dev being deported to Mexico for allegedly being undocumented, none of which was true, I started getting more comments like this in my shorts covering the situation. And this is just the modding community. That's not even including the sweats and purists that broke down Psycho Style because they can't read a fucking chalkboard. I feel like I've grown a lot more impatient with these sort of bad actors because they're all sort of lumped into this weird anti-woke grift, and I just can't be bothered to even pretend to take these people seriously when most of their arguments are so morally and intellectually bankrupt. All of my long, drawn out rambling is to say that while I recognize that the bulk of the New Vegas fandom is just normal Fallout fans and normal people, the weirdos are getting either louder or more plentiful. And for me, it's just time to move on. New Vegas was a wonderful experience, but it's really what the game is all about: learning to let go. As far as what I will be covering going forward, as I said, there are a few things that I want to focus on: a mod project or two, a topic here or there, branch out a bit and talk about other game series, and get a bit more creative with the kind of content that I put out. Only a bit smaller this time. I can't do these long videos anymore. They're stressing me the fuck out, man. I've been having fun and finding some success with shorts, which have more or less become the new topic videos from back in 2023. So I'll probably keep doing those as I have been, with clips from streams and independent sketches sprinkled around here and there. The weekend stream will continue as normal. I've been experimenting with streaming on TikTok as opposed to Twitch, which has been a positive experience, I think, but it's just sad that my Twitch channel just seems to have died. Months ago at this point, my Twitch channel got hacked and was used for crypto advertisement for a little bit. Then it got banned before I was able to get it reinstated, but ever since then, my viewer count has been at a consistent, rock solid 0 per stream. Whereas before it wasn't huge, I was doing relatively okay for a channel with 300 followers. The odd raid from just Wanya or from other creators was nice, but I don't know, it's just not there anymore. I do want to do collab streams more often, so maybe that's where Twitch will come into the mix. The Adamcast podcast is still chugging along. You've probably noticed it hasn't been being uploaded to this channel. It's got its own channel, which I've been uploading pretty consistently to. Links are in the description. Since I've been out of work, though, I've been wanting to focus a bit more on this channel in addition to my normal content. Stop being lazy and finally get it up on Spotify and stuff. I've just been spending way too much time focusing on my Frontier review. I feel like after that drops, I'm going to be in a much better place as far as content creation goes. I think the whole reason I wanted to make this video was just to talk about things, because I feel like I've been kind of letting you guys down a lot with my own hangups about how I make content and the kind of content I want to make, and just staying relevant as a creator. Which I understand is paradoxical, because then you get stun locked worrying about the stuff that you end up not making and end up not actually making anything. Multitasking has always been something that's hard for me, and I've always sort of struggled with motivation and procrastination. But for the rest of 2025 and whatever we do going forward, I'm going to try my very best to refine my process more, because there's still a lot of stuff that I want to do and a lot of things that I've been putting off because I get hyper focused on working on one project at a time. I'm also always super interested in the kind of content you guys are interested in seeing. What sort of games do we talk about? What kind of topics can we explore? If you got any ideas, be sure to leave a comment or join the Discord and pitch something to me directly. I can't guarantee that I'm going to actually make it, but it will help me to get an insight into the kind of things that you guys want to see. At the end of the day, this is a partnership, a back and forth between you and me. If you've made it this far, I thank you so much for watching. The premiere for my Frontier review is live right now and drops tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be in the live chat leading up to its launch, so be sure to stop by and say hi. This week will be a normal week: shorts, content, the weekend stream on Friday, but after that I'll probably be taking just a short break, just maybe a week, to reorganize and refocus, and then we'll be back at it same as always. Until then, as always, I thank you so much for watching and for sticking around all this time, and I'll see you all out there in the wasteland.